Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank weekend preview brought to you by First NBC Bank with 31 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNola.com. The Saints have the Thursday night special with the Falcons, a short week, and the numbers, they're plentiful. 8 of the last 11 games between these two have gone down to the final possession, but the Saints have won 12 of 15 with Sean Payton and Drew Brees against the Atlanta Falcons. And the other number of interest, the fact that the Saints are nearly a 10-point favorite in this game, which is virtually unheard of in this rivalry in recent years.
Like you just said, it's been all close games over the last few years for the most part in this rivalry, and yet the Saints are a 2-score favorite. Something's got to give here, but that's obviously based on what has happened this year. The Saints 8-2, the Falcons 2-8, and have you seen any signs that would change otherwise? Maybe not, but at the end of the day, this is still the Saints and the Falcons, and even when one team is significantly better than the other, it ends up being a very competitive game.
I think they'll both be ready to play. They're both banged up. It's a short week, but I don't think either team gets the advantage based upon being more motivated. We know what the Saints did to the Falcons and wrecked their unbeaten season a year ago. Falcons were like nothing better. A Saints win clinches a winning season. A Falcons loss clinches a losing season. So we'll see if the Saints take care of business like they're supposed to, because that's clearly what's supposed to happen here this evening.
It's supposed to be that way, but as we have long seen when it comes to two teams on the football field, what is supposed to happen isn't always what happens.
All right, the Pelicans win their second straight at home. They avenge a loss to Utah a week ago and beat the Jazz this time around, and they did it with bench strength. Their bench scoring 46 points and doing a great job. Bench scored the first 15 points of the fourth quarter when they really won the game, and that was what they thought would be their strength coming into the season, is their depth, and it showed up in this game.
Yeah, and now with Ryan Anderson back, they are 2-0. Now, granted, they've beaten two teams they were supposed to beat at home. Friday night, you've got Cleveland coming in, a little bit better opponent perhaps, and then come Monday, you've got to go to San Antonio. So it's going to be interesting to see, as we proceed, just what a difference that full-strength bench makes for the Pelicans.
Well, I said that they would be able to win all three of these home games based upon the opponents, and so far so good, and I think they will, and they'll get back to 500. And then they go to San Antonio and start that tough stretch when we start to find out more about this basketball team. Ryan Anderson has been terrific since coming back. He makes a huge difference. It's a domino effect because he really creates opportunities for others in the process.
He does. It's going to stretch out a defense because you've got to respect his ability to shoot the basketball. And what it does is it also gives guys the ability. You don't have to play as many minutes because you're bringing him back into the rotation and the solid minutes that he provides you.
Nice to see Tyreek Evans playing better. And of course, the one constant is Anthony Davis. He's played like an all-star to this point.
Maybe an MVP, really. I mean, he's been unbelievable. With 17 block shots in the last two games is just remarkable.
And then, of course, you look at what's to come where Tulane and LSU football is concerned. First of all, with Tulane, they had a week off, and they get UTEP at home Saturday. Final home game for Tulane, we think, in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, if Yeoman Stadium is ready on time for next year. So a lot of memories to bury there, and they like to do so with a win against a team, frankly, that they should beat off of an off week.
They should. This is a UTEP team that is sitting last in the West Division right now, although they are coming in off of a win. And still, you're right. They should beat them, but still in all, Tulane has to play at or near its best to be successful, and that's what they've been able to do so many times this year. And I think it starts with their defense and their special teams. They're not going to blow anybody away and run up 40 or 50 points on offense. They could get to that number, but it's going to be things that are going to be set up by defense and special teams if it does happen.
LSU, meanwhile, gets Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M at Tiger Stadium. Most people anticipate a high-scoring game. I don't know how you could conclude anything but that based upon the way the two defenses have played this year and the way their two offenses have played.
Yeah, this game, to a certain degree, you got two great offenses out there. What LSU needs to do in this game is play keep away. We remember that game last year in the Superdome, that classic Class 5A championship game between Rummel and Barb, and that was Jay Roth's philosophy in that game. The best defense was a good offense and controlling the football, and I think that's what Les Miles needs to do in this game, is grind it out and just play keep away, and the best defense for Johnny Manziel is to have him standing on the other sideline.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because it's all about bowl positioning for both teams. For LSU, of course, to improve their stature. And then from the standpoint of Texas A&M, really we might be talking about a trip to New Orleans.
Absolutely. Could be. They win these last 2 games, could be talking about A&M coming to the Sugar Bowl, and I think that would be, a boon for, for the folks here in New Orleans if that happens.
And, folks, it is the regional round of the Prep Football Playoffs, and you can follow full coverage at sportsnola.com. Check out our video previewing all of the classes, all 9 of them, on the Prep Playoffs here at sportsnola.com. And, of course, you can follow along Friday night with our scoreboard at sportsnola.com. First game at 6 p.m., Thursday night game as well. Look forward to that. Car game, of course, against Crowley. And then, of course, we'll have the original as well, which you can watch streamed on the website from WGSO 990 AM.
Yeah, you'll see that link. I pointed right up there. You got it. There's your Prep Scoreboard link. Look at it on Friday and follow along Friday night. There's no other place to get the best scores and the most current scores right here at sportsnola.com.
All right, we sure do look forward to it. And, Lenny, it's always a pleasure. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too. We'll see you Monday.
And that's our first NBC Weekend Preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with 31 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have a great weekend, and God bless you.